This was a brutal loss, but the plan to deal with it has to be something better than stay in a snit and take advantage of this magical time of year to cut people off. The Huffington Post has articles like, "My husband voted for Trump, so I'm canceling Thanksgiving and Christmas." Oh, gee, not having to buy you a present, that'll teach him. There's even a trend now among liberal women of wearing blue bracelets to signal that they're Kamala voters and therefore safe to approach and talk to, because God forbid you fall into some checkout line chit-chat with, gasp, a Republican. And many young women are now also pledging never to have sex with any man who voted for Trump. Really? That's your big plan? Embargoing?
You know how every year around this season we hear the same recycled line again and again? The holidays are about love, family, and togetherness. Sounds sweet, right? Except in today's political circus, that warm feeling lasts about 5 minutes. Or at least until Aunt Karen figures out which candidate you supported. Because apparently nothing says peace on earth like cutting off your own brother because he wore a red hat 9 years ago. But before we slide too far down the Christmas chimney, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Not just because it boosts the channel, but because trust me, you're gonna want to see this whole thing. Bill Maher just unloaded on this trend of ditching your Trump-supporting relatives, and his roast of the woke left's holiday meltdown was equal parts brutal and on the nose. So buckle up, because this one gets wild. Here's the setup. Democrats took a rough punch, and instead of pausing, regrouping, or baking a few gingerbread men, some folks decided that the adult reaction was to cancel Thanksgiving and Christmas altogether. Yep. Real headlines from the Huffington Post proudly declared stuff like, "My husband voted for Trump, so I'm canceling Thanksgiving and Christmas." Oh, perfect. Nothing screams marital bliss like punishing your spouse with cold leftovers and awkward silence. What's next? Cutting off the Wi-Fi because he wasn't blue enough? And it keeps going. Apparently, liberal women have started wearing blue bracelets to show they're safe, meaning Kamala voters, like they're part of some secret rebellion that meets in the organic aisle at Whole Foods. Because God forbid you accidentally chat with a Republican near the produce section. Terrifying. And my personal favorite, some young women now swear they'll never date or even hook up with anyone who voted for Trump. Seriously? That's the grand plan? Your brave feminist stand against tyranny is a dating block list? No dates for you unless you pass a political credit check. Forget shared values or actual chemistry. The new love language is a voting history report. But let's pause, because Maher actually hit something worth discussing. He basically said, can we not let politics ruin the holidays? And honestly, he nailed it. Half the country sulking, half the country celebrating. Meanwhile, Christmas is just sitting there like, hey, remember me? The holiday that's supposed to be about joy and good vibes? Christmas used to be about family, laughter, and pretending you didn't forget those AA batteries the kids needed. It used to be the one part of the year where people actually put the political noise on mute. You know, before the internet convinced us to hate our own relatives. Now every dinner table feels like a debate stage. And yeah, Maher didn't just call out liberals, he went after the right too. Like that sheriff in Ohio who proudly posted, "If you support the Democratic Party, I will not help you."
Please not let politics the holidays. Anybody with me on this? Okay. I mean, half the country is moping, half can't stop gloating. Enough! It's Christmas and you will act like it. 'Tis the season and all that. I don't want to read any more articles like the one about the Trump-loving county sheriff in Ohio who posted on Facebook before the election, "If you support the Democratic Party, I will not help you." Well, thank you for your service.
Wow, really capturing that public service spirit there, Sheriff. To protect and swerve, I guess. Since when did helping citizens become optional depending on their party? Same with that FEMA supervisor in Florida who reportedly told workers not to assist homes with Trump signs after Hurricane Milton. Seriously? Disaster relief isn't supposed to have a political filter. Storms don't care what party you support, and neither should the people responding. Maher was right. This nonsense needs to stop everywhere. No wonder both sides think the other one has lost its mind.
Patrol car says to protect and swerve. Hey, asshole, it's your job to help people, all people, not just the ones you agree with. And I would say the same to the FEMA supervisor in Florida who told the rank-and-file relief workers after Hurricane Milton to avoid helping homes with Trump signs on their lawns. This shit has got to stop on both sides.
And that's really the bottom line. We've forgotten that behind all the politics and shouting, we're still human beings. We're all trying to get through life, pay bills, and maybe survive one meal without arguing about the Electoral College. Maher shared a story about a liberal couple from Brooklyn who moved upstate and suddenly found themselves surrounded by Trump voters. They were terrified at first, expecting pitchforks and MAGA chants. But when their car was stuck in the snow, the Trump guy down the road ran over with a shovel. No hesitation, no questions, just a neighbor helping neighbors. The wife later admitted she realized how much political bias she'd been carrying, bias that's practically fashionable in her social circle.
I want to be judged by the content of my character, not what's on my lawn. There's a great article that came out in the Free Press this year by someone who learned this firsthand. It's called Whatever Happens, Love Thy Neighbor. And it tells of how a married couple, who are exactly the portrait of a liberal white couple living in Park Slope, Brooklyn, that you would expect, wind up moving upstate and then are surrounded by Trumpers, and they're petrified. But then, when they get stuck in the snow, the Trump guy down the street doesn't hesitate to help dig the liberals out. The author, Larissa Phillips, says she slowly came to reject the political prejudice so common among.
And let's be real, that's the uncomfortable truth a lot of people don't want to face. Political prejudice isn't just real, it's socially approved as long as it's aimed at conservatives. We've all heard the stories. Liberal brides calling off weddings because their fiancé didn't post the right hashtag. Women bragging about refusing to date Trump voters. It's like a terrible romantic comedy written by Twitter radicals. But love doesn't care about ballot choices. You can't legislate attraction. And if your idea of compatibility starts with, who did you vote for? You don't need politics. You need therapy. Maher said it best. It's hard to obsess over politics when your neighbor is the one rescuing your runaway dog or digging your car out of the driveway. When you actually know people, it's harder to paint them as villains. That's the problem. We've stopped seeing individuals and started seeing political labels walking around.
It's hard to care where someone stands on politics when they race to your house to save a dying lamb, when their wife helps search for your runaway dogs, and that she personally has been stunned by the depth of my neighbor's generosity. It's almost like there are fine people on both sides. And that human beings are complicated. If we're going to remain a viable society, there must be some things that transcend politics, like disaster relief and law enforcement and helping neighbors. And Christmas!
Now here's where it gets even more absurd. A Yale psychiatrist, a person whose literal job is to promote mental stability, went on TV and said it's perfectly fine to cut off family members who voted for Trump, because apparently isolating yourself at Christmas is great for mental health. Nothing says self-improvement like bitterness and solitude. She even said relatives don't deserve your time because that's just a social norm. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize family was optional now, like a streaming service you can just cancel.
President at Yale University, Amanda Calhoun, recently told Joy Reid it's okay to cut off family members if they voted for Trump and tell them, I'm not going to be around you this holiday. Oh, how pure. It's like not letting certain people sit with you on the bus. She also said that it shouldn't be automatic that family members think they're entitled to your time. She said that's just a societal norm. Family. Who do they think they are? Family?
Imagine the pilgrims at the first Thanksgiving hearing that. We were going to eat together, but we found out Squanto's opinions were problematic. Look, I get it. politics is emotional. But when mental health experts start approving division like it's medicine, we've got a problem. Their job is to calm people, not hand out permission slips for political self-exile. If your therapist sounds like a campaign volunteer, it might be time to find a new therapist.
That a mental health professional advising people to isolate during the holidays. And don't forget to drink too much and put on weight. And this Thanksgiving, before the big meal, remember to take turns saying what you're hateful about. You know who I really wouldn't want to have Thanksgiving dinner with? This overly educated, i.e. extremely stupid, ivory tower academic. But I would, because if we ever want this nation to heal, this is what we have to do. Force ourselves to reach out and find out why someone feels the way they do and make the choices they make without prejudging them a monster. And they must do this.
Maher joked that if this country ever wants to heal, we need to sit down and talk. Not scream, not cancel people. Talk. And he's right. Right now, America is one giant dysfunctional group chat seconds from a meltdown. Seriously, when was the last time you had a political conversation that didn't turn into a battlefield? It's like everyone forgot how to disagree without launching a war. And the media? They're just stirring the pot. Every headline reads like a disaster movie teaser. Outrage brings clicks. Calm discussions don't. If the media spent half as much time being honest as they do fueling conflict, maybe family dinners wouldn't feel like hostage situations. Imagine turning on the TV and getting facts instead of propaganda. That alone would be a holiday miracle. And that's what made Maher's message sting. It wasn't just political, it was human. It was a reminder that kindness shouldn't depend on agreement, that we can still eat together, laugh, and enjoy the season without grading each other's voting records. Because if we don't, where does it go next? Are we going to start dividing Christmas decorations by political party? Red ornaments for Republicans, blue lights for Democrats, and Santa checking your ballot before he comes down the chimney? The holidays, and honestly life, should remind us that our shared humanity is bigger than our disagreements. You can be decent to people you don't agree with. And if you can't get through one dinner without mentioning an election, maybe the issue isn't politics. Maybe it's you.
Why can't we have the Christmas spirit all year round? Now it's, hey, it's Christmas time. Get the out of my house. I can't look at you. And while you're at it, go have your baby in the barn. I mean, can we have a little perspective? At the first Thanksgiving, the Indians somehow found it within themselves to sit down with the Pilgrims who were there to steal their land and slaughter them. And you're telling me you can't suck it up and watch the Fiesta Bowl with Uncle Cletus?
We've got to stop treating every disagreement like it's a crisis. Society only works when people with different perspectives coexist. And yeah, that doesn't mean pretending the differences don't exist. It just means they shouldn't dominate everything. Strong opinions are fine. Debates are fine. But if your political identity is so fragile it can't survive Christmas dinner, you might need to log off and touch some grass. Maher said it best. Family isn't like gender. You can't just fix it by cutting off members.
Democrats, this was a brutal loss, but the plan to deal with it has to be something better than stay in a snit and take advantage of this magical time of year to cut people off. The Huffington Post has articles like, "My husband voted for Trump, so I'm canceling Thanksgiving and Christmas." Oh, gee, not having to buy you a present, that'll teach him. But family isn't like gender. You can't fix it by cutting off members.
Funny but true. You can't erase her family because they checked a different box. That's not moral progress, it's emotional immaturity disguised as virtue. It's easy to hide in an echo chamber. It's easy to surround yourself only with people who agree with you. That's not growth. Growth is listening to people who challenge you. Growth is understanding, not avoidance. And honestly, maybe we all could use a little of that first Thanksgiving energy. when people with drastically different cultures still sat down peacefully, if only for a moment. If they could manage that, you can handle 2 hours with Uncle Bob. So here's the challenge for the holidays. Put down the phone. Stop doom scrolling. Actually interact with the people around you. Ask about their lives, not their candidates. Laugh. Eat too much. Argue about football instead of policy. And when someone says something you don't love, breathe. It's not the apocalypse. Because at the end of the day, we don't need more purity tests. We need patience, understanding, and the simple human decency of not asking, who'd you vote for, before offering kindness. And maybe if we can get through one peaceful, politics-free Christmas, we'll remember what unity actually feels like.
Trend now among liberal women of wearing blue bracelets to signal that they're Kamala voters and therefore safe to approach and talk to, because God forbid you fall into some checkout line chit-chat with, gasp, a Republican. And many young women are now also pledging never to have sex with any man who voted for Trump. Really? That's your big plan? Embargoing the...
So yeah, Maher was right. The woke left may excel at hashtags and outrage, but they're absolutely terrible at enjoying holidays. Because once your political identity becomes more important than your family, your friends, or your ability to enjoy Christmas dinner, you've lost something much deeper than any election. And honestly, that's the real war on Christmas. So let's bring back what the season is supposed to be. Warmth, laughter, generosity, and yes, a little forgiveness. If pilgrims and Native Americans could pull off a meal without canceling each other, you can handle one without turning it into a CNN panel. If you agree, or even if you don't, drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Are we too divided as a country, or is unity still possible? I'd love to hear your take. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with that one relative who keeps treating Christmas like a campaign rally. Because if we can laugh a bit, listen a little more, and hold on to empathy, maybe, just maybe, we can actually start healing.